Greetings again. I wanted to take a minute before we jumped into the demo to introduce myself formally. I'm Amara Perkins. I have over 2 decades of experience in literacy education. I've only worked in Title I schools. A few of my professional highlights. Being a middle school ELA teacher, I want to first say that seventh grade is the most exciting grades of all time. My average SOL pass rate is 75% or above. Our school was nationally recognized by Harvard University for our improved performance on the end of the year SOL assessment in all content areas. Next, I was an elementary reading interventionist and coach, and I worked collaboratively with teachers, tutors, support staff, and administrators. And in 1 year, we made double-digit gains on the reading assessment. Next, I was a division literacy instructional specialist. I came into this position during COVID. That first semester I was there, we shut down the district, and the specialists were responsible for creating instructional videos for all the students to make sure that we tried to minimize the learning loss that the students may experience. I was responsible for managing and creating instructional videos for students in grades 3 through 5 across the district. I was also a national services manager, a national trainer, where I trained teachers across the nation in a digital literacy platform. And then I'm still to this day an adjunct professor where I work to impact the literacy instructional practices of aspiring teachers, new teachers, and veteran teachers. So if you cannot tell, I absolutely love everything about literacy instruction. Let's go ahead and jump into this demo. So the series topics for all of the sessions are reading comprehension for all students. One, our focus is going to be on word recognition instruction. When we think about the phrase all students, what comes to mind? Take a minute and then add your answer to the chat. When I think of all students, I think of students that are performing above grade level, students that are performing on grade level, students who are performing below grade level. I think about students who are receiving accommodations, additional support. I think about my English language learner students. I think about students who have been identified as gifted. Our focus question is, how can we support the development of reading comprehension for all students? Our learning outcomes, we're going to understand the 4 major components of the science of reading. We're going to explore the impact of word recognition on reading comprehension. We're going to then learn how to apply the major components of the science of reading to support students' ability to understand words found in text. We first have to start off our session with our critical vocabulary words. These are 4 essential components of the science of reading: word recognition, language comprehension, reading comprehension, explicit and systematic instruction, and then we're going to talk about the science of reading. What is it, and how do each of these components fit into the big umbrella of the science of reading? Our first phrase is word recognition. Whether you are a science teacher, social studies teacher, math teacher, ELA teacher, whatever content area that you teach, what does the phrase word recognition mean to you? And how will it show up in your class? And don't worry about adding it to the chat, just think about it. When I think of word recognition, I think of the ability to hear sounds in a word and being able to pronounce the word. I think of students being able to decode the word. That means their ability to read the word and identifying spelling features and word parts. I think about students being able to encode the word, write the word that includes those spelling features and word parts. I think a student's ability to understand the word outside of the text, being able to take the word in isolation and being able to analyze it, pull it apart to get a better understanding, a deeper understanding of the meaning of the word. And then I think of the student's ability to know what the word means in text. What about language comprehension? What do you think of when you think about the phrase language comprehension, and how would it show up in your class? Go ahead and add your answers to the chat. When I think of language comprehension, I think of the ability to understand and use language. I think of students being able to participate in intentional conversations with their peers, intentional conversations with the teacher, intentional conversations in small groups. Take a minute and look at this slide. I want you to preview the slide. And as you're previewing the slide, I want you to think about, what do you notice and what do you wonder? Now what we're going to do is we're going to complete a Marzano Foursquare on one of the terms that we learned today. So we're going to put you into breakout groups. Now let's move over to the explicit systematic instruction. I've selected a text, and what I'm going to do is, this is the I do part. I'm going to do the teacher modeling. I'm going to read aloud this first stanza. And as I read aloud this stanza, I'm going to think to myself, what are some words that would be barriers to my students being able to understand the text? All right, so I hope that you've enjoyed the brief demo. Thank you for taking the time to watch. If you want additional information on the company, look at tteeducators.org. Be on the lookout tomorrow for another video where I'm sharing with you all the information that you need to know about the series sessions, how to contact us, the titles of the session, the structure of the session, the additional resources that will be provided. I hope to see you tomorrow.